September 5, 2022. Watch Mars continue its eastward march through Taurus before sunrise. Watch the harvest moon effect during the next several evenings. Later in the evening, the moon occults a star in Sagittarius. Full moon, NASA photo. By Jeffrey L. Hunt. Chicago, Illinois, sunrise, 6:21 a.m. CDT, sunset, 7:17 p.m. CDT. Check local sources for sunrise and sunset times for your location. Photo caption, The Harvest, Pexels.com. The harvest moon occurs at 4:59 a.m. CDT on the 10th. This full moon is likely the most famous of the year's nicknamed moons. It is named for the full moon closest to the autumnal equinox that occurs on the 22nd. Traditionally, and before the invention of artificial illumination, the bright moon assisted farmers in their fields after sunset. A full moon. Photo by João Lucas Oliveira on Pexels.com. Besides the name that corresponds with the season, there is a harvest moon effect. This occurs when the moon is approaching the vernal equinox. The equinoxes and solstices are specific days related to the sun's position compared to an imaginary heavenly globe that is perceived to hold the sun, moon, stars, and planets, the celestial sphere. It is not real, but a convenient means of describing the sky. Chart caption, The Celestial Sphere. Image courtesy of the Lunar and Planetary Institute. The celestial globe has a coordinate system that is similar to Earth's longitude and latitude coordinates. It starts with the celestial equator, a circle on the globe directly above the Earth's equator. The sky has celestial poles as well, designated north and south. Polaris is near the north celestial pole, and so, it nearly stands above the north cardinal point. Photo caption, Globe with Earth's tilt, Pexels.com. Because of Earth's tilt, the plane of the solar system is tilted 23.5 degrees compared to the celestial equator. The ecliptic crosses the celestial equator at two spots, the equinoxes. The summer solstice is the point farthest north of the equator, and the one farthest south is the winter solstice, as defined from the northern hemisphere. The vernal equinox is the name of the origin of the coordinate system, the 0 degrees point. All coordinates are measured from this spot in the sky. When the sun has the origin's coordinates, the day is known as the vernal equinox, a date on the calendar. The same occurs for the other celestial points. Chart caption, The celestial point of the vernal equinox near the east horizon. The autumnal equinoxes is opposite the vernal's coordinates, making the autumnal's coordinates 180 degrees, 0 degrees. The longitude is normally expressed in hours and minutes, like time, and named right ascension. The latitude, known as declination, is measured in degrees, like that on a protractor. At the vernal equinox, the sun sets at the west cardinal point. Half the sky away, 180 degrees, the vernal equinox is at the east cardinal point. The tilt of the solar system from the east horizon is near its minimum. As the moon moves eastward each day, approximately 13 degrees, it moves somewhat parallel to the horizon. When the sun is near the autumnal equinox, the moon is approaching the vernal equinox and the full phase in the east. The average delay of moonrise from day to day is about 53 minutes. During a 24-hour period, the moon rises later from its eastward motion. The average does not reveal much about the shortest times. In the table below, the dates are listed for several days during September 2022. The moonrise time in standard time, add 1 hour for daylight time, is listed for each day. This data is from the U.S. Naval Observatory, USNO. The delay of moonrise is calculated simply by subtracting the day's moonrise time from the previous day's time. For example, on the 8th, the delay is 35 minutes from subtracting moonrise on September 7th from moonrise on September 8th. Be careful subtracting times. It might be necessary to borrow an hour to add 60 minutes to the minutes part. The next column lists sunset times in standard time. Again, the data is from USNO. The last column is the difference in time from moonrise to sunset. When moonrise occurs before sunset, the less than symbol, less than is used. When it's after sunset, the greater than symbol, greater than is used. This year, as the date of the full moon nears, the delay of moonrise quickly diminishes, reaching minimum values of 23 minutes on the 11th and 12th. Then it begins to increase again. But notice the difference in moonrise and sunset. From the 7th to the 9th, the bright moon is already in the sky at sunset, and then darkness takes over. It's a challenge to see much detail on the ground after about 45 minutes after sunset. Beginning on the 11th, the moon rises nearly an hour after sunset when the sky is pretty dark. So there is a gap between the brightest twilight and moonrise. Date, 2022 moonrise, CST delay from previous day sunset, CST moonrise/sunset Sep 515 to 341:0518:17 less than 2:43 Sep 616 to 290 to 55:18:16 less than 1:47 Sep 717 to 130 to 44:18:14 less than 1:01 Sep 817 to 480 to 35:18:12 less than 0:24 Sep 918 to 170 to 29:18:10 less than 0:07 Sep 1018 to 420 to 25:18:09 greater than 0:33 Sep 1119:050:23:18:07 greater than 0:58 Sep 1219 to 280 to 23:18:05 greater than 1:23 Sep 1319 to 520 to 24:18:03 greater than 1:49 Sep 1420 to 180 to 26:18:02 greater than 216. The effect of short delays for moonrise occurs whenever the celestial sphere's vernal equinox is near the east horizon and the moon is approaching it, regardless of the time of night, season, or moon phase. All lunar phases experience this short delay of moonrise, the harvest moon effect. This time of the year culturally we note the harvest moon, although few of us in North America need moonlight to complete our work. Here are planet highlights for today. Morning sky. Chart caption, 2022, September 5th. Mars is with Taurus high in the southeast before sunrise. Mars is the bright star in high in the southeast before sunrise. It maintains its eastward march through Taurus, above the Hyades cluster and Aldebaran, the bull's head. Chart caption, 2022, through a binocular, Mars moves eastward near Aldebaran and the Hyades star cluster. Use a binocular to spot Mars and the Hyades star cluster. This morning the red planet is 1.3 degrees to the upper left of Epsilon Tauri, Epsilon Tau on the charts. Visualize the bull's head as a letter V. Aldebaran is at the top of the left side of the letter and Epsilon is at the top of the right side. Chart caption, 2022, September 5th, through a binocular, Mars is between Epsilon Tauri, Epsilon Tau, and Upsilon Tauri, Upsilon Tau. Move the binocular slightly to include Kappa Tauri, Kappa Tau, and Upsilon Tauri, Upsilon Tau. Mars passes between Upsilon and Epsilon this morning. In 2 mornings, Mars passes Aldebaran. Spot the changing spot of the planet each morning. During morning twilight, Jupiter is about 1/3 of the way up in the southwest. In comparison, Venus keeps rising later, appearing low in the east-northeast as morning twilight grows. Evening sky. Chart caption, 2022, September 5th, after sunset, the moon is in the handle of the teapot of Sagittarius. 1 hour after sunset, the waxing gibbous moon, 75% illuminated, is less than 1/3 of the way up in the south in the teapot's handle, part of Sagittarius. The lunar orb is near the star Tau Sagittarii, Tau SGR on the chart. About 10:30 p.m. CDT, from Chicago, the moon covers or occults the star. This occultation is visible across the US, Mexico, Central America and southern Canada. Use a binocular or spotting scope to watch the star disappear behind the moon, then reappear about an hour later, depending on the location. Early in the evening, Saturn is in the southeast at about the same altitude, height above the horizon, as the moon. 2 hours after sunset, bright Jupiter is low in the east, followed by Mars nearly 2 hours later. After midnight, the moon is low in the west, Saturn in the west-southwest, Jupiter toward the south, and Mars in the eastern sky.